Hey,
bro.
Listen.
They don't look bad. They don't look bad.
Listen, I'm a dead ass say that these never surrenders, they ain't hideous. You know what I'm saying?
They're not hideous.
If we gonna keep it a buck. Yo. Welcome back to another episode of The Great Deliberators. I am one of your hosts, Mr. Operator Rose.
It's your boy DK.
And one time for our boy L Beam. We recording over the internet. We're recording over the internet, so you know, here's what it is. Hey man, did you tell DK to holler at your boy?
I said who?
I mean, my bad. Did you tell Vince to holler at your boy?
I did not, man, but I will.
Dog.
It's supposed to come tonight. So.
Dog, hey, send him my email. Send him my email, man. I don't know if you got it. I know you got my number. I don't know if you got my email shit.
All right, I got you.
All right, bet, man. How's everybody doing this week, man?
I'm good, man. I can't complain. I've been like heavy on the finance. I'm about to start my finance journey on March 1st. So
finance journey?
Yeah, just financial planning.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so, I got you.
Been trying to put everything I got into contributing all this HSA and Roth IRA accounts.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get a 401k, man, but I think there might be a way that I can offer myself one self-employed, but we'll see.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Take advantage of them tax incentives. With that being said, man, it's funny you to bring that up because again, not trying to be a whatchamacallit, apocalyptic again. But for those of you, if you haven't seen or haven't heard about it, Jerome Powell, the head of the Federal Reserve, he did a 60-minute interview. I'm not gonna go into the details, but just know that like y'all need to go find that, watch it, really take in like what he's saying because I remember I told you one time that I was backing off of like the panic button. I'm back on it. I mean, he basically confirmed it, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like he basically all but confirmed it. Like, hey, this shit is coming off the rails. Like, and dog, like if you watch it, like he's not saying that shit lighthearted. Like, well, you know, if we don't get like, dog, it looks like absolute dread over his face as he's saying that shit. Like he looks like a man defeated. You know what I'm saying?
This is on CBS News?
60 minutes. Yeah, it was a 60-minute interview. So go find it. Yeah, man, he just looked defeated. So that shit did not sit right with me, man. So I'm back to full-blown panic mode. Hey, this shit coming off the rails. Tighten up, everybody, because this next decade, man, is gonna be really telling, man. It's gonna be absolutely telling. Yeah, 60 minutes, man. Y'all go peep that.
I'm gonna have to watch this tonight.
Yeah, because just go peep it, y'all. Okay, man, let's go.
But it's not. I'm gonna tell you right now, though. Whatever he does say, it's not gonna stop my pursuit. I'm gonna keep.
Oh no. But I'm saying like it's to me. You need to go watch it so that way you can get even more. How can I put it? You can become more understanding of exactly what I be talking about when I be on here. And I'm saying like, hey, like, sure, the dollar's like the world reserve currency, but shit is getting ugly. Like he I'm just gonna flat out say it. He says like in the interview with 60 Minutes, he says that the U.S. is on an unsustainable fiscal path. Like he flat out says it. Like no politician's ever said it. Nobody's ever come out. He flat out said in the interview that we are on an unsustainable fiscal path.
I haven't watched the interview, but just real quick, and we'll get off the subject quick. We got a lot to talk about. But
yeah,
do you think that we're at a place where we aren't like people aren't investing enough or putting enough away for retirement that fiscally they're going to be sleeping on Walmart floors when they retire? Or are we talking about like the economy is like we might be going to like through a drought here very soon? Like what do we?
The issue at hand is, so even if people start to invest more, right? The reality is unless people can, one, invest enough and also within themselves find a way to drastically reduce Social Security, right? Because all all benefits are paid out under Social Security, right? So whenever you look up
Social Security is strong, but me and you've already talked about that.
No, but I'm saying like, but I'm talking about when you look up the federal budget and you look up Social Security, understand that all the benefits are paid out under that budget is considered Social Security. You get what I'm saying? So like if you go and you look, that's the highest part of the United States budget. So that includes SNAP, Medicaid, all that's included in Social Security. We know that there's almost no possibility of them reducing the military budget, right? So the only place you could really make any cuts is at Social Security, right? And so the issue that you have is unless you get a ton of people just start flat out denying, like damn near 90% of all new people coming into it, there's no way to decrease the spending. So the issue that you have is, and this is the most important part, and this is something I learned a while ago, but it's not really even the national debt that's the issue. It's the deficit, right? Because the deficit is the difference between what the debt we're accruing and how much money the United States is making. So if the United States was taking on more debt, but the deficit was decreasing, okay, well, sure, we're taking on more debt, but we're increasing revenue. You see what I'm saying? But that's not what's occurring. We're taking on more debt and the deficit is increasing. So not only are we not able to pay our current debts, we're taking on more debt to pay future debts. And he says in the interview that it feels like we're robbing future generations. I can't stress that enough. Like, I mean, I'm not I'm fairly, you know what I'm saying, like monetary savvy and fiscally savvy, but you talk to somebody whose life and who is completely in charge of the Federal Reserve, which is basically the place where money gets printed at, saying that like, yo, we're fucking up future generations by doing this. And if we don't find a way to fix this shit, it's a wrap. So full blown panic, y'all. So, you know, I don't know what to tell you. I hate to be this way, but I mean, I can only convey the message. I can only tell you what's being said. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, it's knowing what I know. It was pretty damning. Like he was basically saying like, yeah, we've been spending like, you know, like there's no consequences for this shit, but the reality is there's absolute consequences. And so this plays back into why a lot of my political views now, I don't really care about nothing, man. I mean, I'm basically at the point where like I don't care about at this point there's no solving anything by talking about all these social issues and all these problems. Like all that shit need to be put on the back burner. And the only politician I care to hear from is somebody who's talking about the way this goddamn money is being spent and how we gonna fix this shit. Because that shit is going to affect us in the future because we're likely, you know, you're not likely to die. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, let's just keep it a buck.
This is going to sound weird, but I think the only way that may help us is to incentivize. And I don't think that might work, but it's to find a way to incentivize individuals to start looking at themselves more fiscally, more investing in things. Like the one thing I will always disagree with you with is that, like, look, I know we are consumer-based individuals. I forgot what I was saying, but
you're basically about to go into your soliloquy about how like personal, you know what I'm saying, accountability.
Yeah, I just think the government should incentivize individuals, just like healthcare. Like it's a taxable incentive for you to have healthcare whenever you file your taxes. So I just think the government should find a way to do that when you just participate in a retirement plan, even at a minimum of like $250, $500. Like do something to get people to really start investing in themselves. But I don't know, man.
If they really want, I mean, if so here's the thing, man, because again, I think just so that way we don't go down this path again, I think we've been arguing two different perspectives. So like you keep wanting to talk about personal accountability, and I'm saying that there is a good portion of the economy of people who shouldn't be struggling, that are struggling because of personal accountability. But I'm also talking about the fact that people who are making good wages are watching their life, their way of life leave before their eyes. They're watching it in real time. I watched a TikTok today where a dude in the same area, his house was appraised for $824,000 in 4 years. In 4 years, which means that in 4 years at his current wage, he went from being able to buy a house for $435,000. His house was now appraised at $825,000. In 4 years, he wouldn't have been able to buy his house. Like, that is ridiculous. Like, you can't argue that. That's math. Like, you can't just sit up here and say, oh, well, you should just stop, stop consuming so much. That's not the problem. Like, we're watching shit happen in real time that is astronomically like ridiculous. Like, so that's my point. Like, I'm arguing that. Like, I'm not here to tell people to get their shit together, because those people know to get their shit together. That's like the thing about all of this. Like, people know who are over consuming that they shouldn't be doing that. That's not my problem. I'm here to talk about the shit that you can't fix on your own, that we can't fix. And that shit has to be done at the top level, not at the ground level. People at the ground level like me and you, yeah, we should be fixing our shit. But I'm talking about the shit that, like, yo, if we don't start talking about this shit now, in 10 years, ain't gonna be no fixing that shit. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, that's it. So again, I mean, I hate to do this again, but like, if I don't tell you niggas, I don't know who is. Cause I don't, like, all my friends, they ain't keeping up with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't even know unless I tell them. Like, hey, like, shit's getting real, big dog.
I'll be honest, I looked at it yesterday on HAR. My house is valued at $280,000.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even, bro. I tried this.
30,000 in just 2 years.
No, listen to me. My same house, like, with all the upgrades I put in it, I couldn't go get today. Like, my house without all the upgrades is $90,000 more with none of the upgrades than what I paid for it starting. Like, bro.
When'd you buy your house?
I bought it in 2016.
Okay.
So you add in. So just so you know, my upstairs game room, that was a $30,000 upgrade. The back patio was like $8,000. Put in some other stuff. I paid $240,000 for my house, bro. Understand that joker start at $330 right now. None of that shit. Come on, man. Like, I couldn't even sell my house and go get my same house. You see what I'm saying, bro? Like, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Is so that's the shit that I'm talking about. Like, you can't outgap that. You know what I'm saying? Like, sure, you can constantly fight and make more wages and shit like that. And I get it. That's all cool and all. But I'm just saying we shouldn't have to do that, man. You should get to a point in life where you're now comfortable and, like, you're good. You know what I'm saying? You should be able to stack your bread, invest it, and be looking for retirement. And in 10 years, we're going to be looking at the fact that, like, yo, we may not even be able to still be able to put money into investing. We may just be struggling just to live. And so, who knows? But let's not dwell on that right now. I just like to always I'm always trying to give a little tidbit, because if I could just nudge one person in the right direction, I done saved another person. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. With that being said, man, let's get into this opening topic, man, which is these Trump tennis shoes. So Donald Trump stopped off at Philadelphia. I don't know if it was like a sneaker con. It was a sneaker event. You know what I'm saying? So he stopped off at Philadelphia for a sneaker con. And he dropped off the, let me get the name right here, because I don't want to butcher this.
Air Trump.
They're the Never Surrender high top sneakers. Let me get this up in the camera so y'all can see. Oh, wait.
There you go.
Look at that shit.
I ain't gonna lie to you, dog.
No, don't do it, dog. Don't do it. Hey, before you do that, though, I ain't gonna cap these right here. These jokers here, these jokers kind of clean. Yo, these jokers kind of clean, dog.
I ain't gonna lie to you. We gonna have these hillbillies.
Yo, I ain't even gonna cap.
Nice.
I ain't even gonna cap.
You got this nice merch, man.
These POTUS 45s. These POTUS 45s, man.
No lie. Them things is not bad from little conservative, little folk. I know that sounds bad. I wouldn't rock them. I'm not saying
bro. I can't do it. Like, snatch that shit off of there.
I'm just saying, if you one of these, like, you know what I'm saying, Trumpers or whatever, bro. Listen. They don't look bad. They don't look
listen,
bad.
I'm a dead ass say that these Never Surrenders, they ain't hideous. You know what I'm saying?
They're not hideous.
If we gonna keep it a buck, whoever designed these jokers for them, shout out to them. They got some, they got some decent taste. They did a pretty good job. I would never wear these motherfuckers or pay for them. Although I might buy them to try to flip them to like a mega guy.
I would definitely pay them.
Yeah, I would definitely probably get these hoes to try to sell them and shit. They only made 1,000. You can pre-order them right now. I don't know. The website's kind of confusing because it offers you a pre-order option, but then the first thing that comes up says they sold out. So who knows? But yeah, if you're trying to make a quick buck, I'm sure if you get a pair, you'll easily be able to throw them jokers on eBay and get some money for them. So in which case, I don't know, man. I might look into that because any money is good money at this point. So
any money is good money. We just talked about we dying out here.
Dead ass. If you can make a quick flip, hey, take that money, man. Don't let me talk you out of it. Yeah, dead ass. But yeah, so I don't really, like I said, we were talking off air. I think that it's more of a PR stunt because obviously, if you only make 1,000 pair, you ain't chasing money. You know what I'm saying? So because 1,000 plus 400, what's that? 400,000 tops. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that ain't no money grab because it's everybody's making a big deal about being convenient that he would drop shoes after get hit over the head for a $355 million judgment. But 400,000 ain't gonna put no dent in that shit. So he need to crank out a lot more shoes.
He's gonna drop a hat. He's gonna drop like some type of
keychain, shirts. I mean, he already got a merch site though. He already got a merch site. Yeah. So like, yeah, like
a whole jumpsuit.
Hey, you know what else we need to talk about, man? We need to get up on these niggas who created a GoFundMe for gang, bro. Hey, let me tell y'all something, dog. Listen, I get it. You support the man. Cool. Y'all are wild for creating a GoFundMe for a billionaire. I'm just saying. I don't care what circumstances a person is going through. Creating a GoFundMe for a billionaire is probably the wildest shit I've ever heard in my life.
I didn't even know they made a GoFundMe for dude.
Bro, they the same day, bro, they dropped a GoFundMe for this man to try to raise $355 million. Are you shitting me? I don't even know. Let's go look. Well, while we talk, we'll go look at it, man. But so when I first heard he was getting sued too, let's go ahead and let's talk about this. When I first heard he was getting sued, I was trying to figure out like what he was getting sued for, and then I seen that he got hit over the head for $355 million. I was all like, oh no, man, I gotta go look into this shit. Why is Donald Trump getting sued for $355 million? And then I found out that he was getting sued for over evaluating his properties or whatever. And I was like, well, that seemed kind of,
why would you want to over evaluate your properties? Don't you want to keep them?
Well, so here's why. And so let's maybe get into it.
He's inflating his net worth.
Yeah. So in which case, inflate your net worth allows you to be able to borrow more money. So in the world of finance, we call that fraud.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to borrow that kind of money if I was him. Like, that's just, I don't know.
But that's what they do. That's how they avoid taxes. They borrow money. They put up stuff for collateral and they loan against it, and then they don't take a salary. They just spend banks' money. That's how rich people do it. That's how they avoid taxes. You get what I'm saying? Because the reality is for you to continue borrowing money, your business has to show that it's making a profit. So, in the early stages of creating a business, you get all those tax incentives for basically when you first start a business, you usually losing money. You get what I'm saying? So you get certain tax incentives to start a business, and that's one of them, right? So, if for whatever like processing fees and like certain things like that, you get to write off, right? Well, eventually you get to a point where banks don't loan you money if you're not showing that your business is able to pay it back. So to do that, you can no longer just start writing shit off. You eventually got to start taking a profit. Well, once you start taking a profit, the only way to keep from having to pay taxes is, don't take a salary. You basically say, hey, here go, I don't know, 30,000 shares of my company or whatever. I'll put this up for collateral. Let me borrow 1.5 billion and I'm gonna just go rock with this. I don't know if it's ever that much. I don't ever know how much people actually borrow, but we don't get access to those numbers. But that's essentially how they.
It just seems very stressful, bro.
Dog, listen, I'll be trying to.
At a certain point, you would just want to
just pay my taxes.
Yeah, just pay the taxes.
No, that's why we use all like
passive income, and then just go ahead and start budgeting what the taxes amount. Like right now, like with my business, every single week I take out $250.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? From the business checking to the business savings. I even went today to try to see if I can get into a high yield, savings account.
Mm-hmm.
But my goal is that what I'm trying to do is go ahead and budget for what my taxes will be by the end of the year. That's $1,000 a month. It's going to be $12,000 at the end of the year that I'm expecting to pay for, revenue earned. Call it a day. Now, look, if it's more than that, at least I got a good chunk then I can go ahead and go towards it. If it's less than that, okay, cool. We might be able to throw a bonus out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like maybe I get some money back in the 12,000. We can just reinvest into the business, but that's about it. We're not going to sit up here and start trying to find ways to like get out the way. Like, nah, budget what it's going to be and call it a day.
Bro, I think the even deeper conversation here is what I've always talked about is like, bro, I completely understand as a tax-paying citizen and somebody who barely has any money, why you want to keep as much as you can. But I know for a fact that at some point, if I ever get to a point where I'm raking in net, if I'm netting, you know what I'm saying? Like after, well, I should say netting. Yeah, if I'm netting like 10 million a year, bro, I'm probably straight. Like if after taxes and everything, I'm keeping $10 million, I'm good, dog. Like I probably don't have a care in the world. And you got people out here who would be netting 500, would be netting $1 billion. You know what I'm saying? Netting $2 billion. You know what I'm saying? Which would still take the average person at a minimum wage job 1,700 years to make. You get what I'm saying? Would take them 1,700 years to make that shit. And you got niggas out here literally avoiding taxes like it's the fucking plague. And that shit to me,
I don't know,
is
man.
crazy.
Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I'm doing something wrong with kind of like budgeting for that. But to me, it just gives me peace of mind. It gives me peace of mind when I do my taxes next year. Okay, what are your, what are your expenses? And then you try to throw all that stuff out. Even if you got to round the number up to get it as to what you think it may be. You know what I'm saying? If you get audited, then you go into specifics. But that's the best you may do is just try to round something just to give yourself a little bit of a wiggle room. But to avoid a whole situation off of, what you believe is, language that can favor you is wild.
And they would still keep billions of dollars. That's the shit that makes this shit so insane. Like when and I was listening to a guy talk about this, right? Because we've become so conditioned to hearing $1 billion that we don't really quite put it into perspective.
It's 1,000 million, guys.
Huh? Even more than that. Even more than that, dog. Like I said, when you put it into a real perspective, it would take someone making a minimum wage year job. It would take them 1,700 years to make $1 billion. And you have people who, even after paying taxes, would keep multiple billions of dollars avoiding
in a year avoiding it.
And that's the crazy part to me, because it's like it really does beg the question of selfishness, man. And again, I can't claim whether or not you're selfish for doing it. It is what it is. What I can say is it just seemed like a lot of goddamn work, and it seemed like you paying you keeping people on the payroll, and you're avoiding it, trying to figure out that, doing all of this shit just to avoid
just
paying taxes.
Pay it so you can keep them alphabet boys out your life.
Dog, I'm saying
you can keep them out your life.
Like, what are we
Call
doing
it a day?
Here? Like, I don't understand, man. But again, it ain't my life, so hey, shout out to them. All right, man. Let's go ahead. Let's get about Donald Trump. Oh yeah, but yeah. So it is official. It says the wife of an investor has launched a GoFundMe to help fund former President Trump's mounting legal expenses in the wake of Friday's verdict in the New York fraud case. GoFundMe has a goal of $355 million. The amount the judge Arthur Engoron ordered Trump to pay in penalties in a civil fraud case. It said it has already raised $185,000 from some 4,000 donors.
That's kind of wild, but hey, they might get to $500,000.
Let me do the math here real quick.
$250,000.
That's like 4,000. Boy, y'all crazy. All right, man. Y'all got it. All right. With that being said, man, let's go ahead. Let's get into Uncle Sharpe, man. So let's talk about the Monique interview before we get into like all the drama. I want to talk about a specific, because I still never finished it. I only got through 2 hours of it, but I don't think I need to hear much more because I don't really remember seeing any clips even after what I watched. So I want to address the Kevin Hart situation. So she starts talking about how Kevin Hart asked her to come on her pod, and she broke down the same situation again, the Tyler Perry Oprah situation, along with who's the dude from Precious, I forget his name, something Lee. I forget his name. But she break down that whole debacle again. You know what I'm saying? He tells her, hey, Oprah, I'm going to talk to Tyler Perry. We're going to get this shit squared away. Kevin Hart keeps his word. He calls Tyler Perry. He says, hey, he calls Monique back. He says, Monique, Tyler Perry doesn't want to revisit the situation anymore. But here's the thing. We're going to move past that. We're going to rock together. Whatever you want to do, I'm down. I'm a partner with you. We're going to make this shit work. We're going to rock it out. Cool. They call his production company. They call her management agency. They say, hey, Kevin Hart just gave us the green light, whatever it is. He gonna put his stamp of approval on it. He gonna put his name to it. We gonna blow up. They get in touch with Kevin Hart's management or production company. They come back. They call Monique, say, hey, they told us, nah, they ain't doing none of that. Monique calls Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart says it was his manager, who happens to be a white man named David Becky. She says, hey, yeah. David Becky told us, hey, we ain't that you ain't doing that. They don't want to have nothing to do with me. You don't put your name on it. He says, nah, Monique, that's a miscommunication, so on and so forth. She asked him, the old cliche, you comfortable with this white man saying that? Well, this white man has made him millions of dollars. So, probably, you know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna say that to you, but whatever he say, he thinks is a good idea. He know the business, right? So he gonna say, hey, look. So Kevin Hart says, nah, it's miscommunication. So I'm gonna get it straightened out. She claims she ain't never heard from him again. Now, prior to saying that, all of that, prior to explaining that situation, she said that when her and her husband were at their lowest and they really wasn't making ends meet, Kevin Hart loaned them money. Love. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Show love. So, hey, here, take this. You know what I'm saying? They said until they got back on their feet, but they did pay it back. Monique and her husband paid it back with interest. And so I say all that to say this, to explain the whole situation, to say this is, to me, you get what I'm saying? There's certain times when there's no reason for you to speak on something, because when you were at your lowest, a motherfucker had your back. And for her, now I get it, she probably felt slighted by Kevin Hart. But the reality is when he didn't have to do nothing, he reached out and gave you money. You get what I'm saying? And for you to even bring up this situation and throw dirt on his name, when in reality, he just didn't do anything but not come through. And to me, the actual issue here is, and what I think Kevin Hart is most guilty of, is he's most guilty of probably just falling victim to sympathy. He probably just felt bad. He probably really do rock with Monique. You know what I'm saying? In that moment, he said something that he ain't entirely think through. He ain't running through his team. He ain't running through his management company, his PR team, none of that. He just said, hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to rock with you. We're going to make this shit happen. Well, they say, hey, well, here's the turmoil with all this. You do all that. So now he has to backtrack. It might have been some sucker shit where he sent, his manager out to do his dirty work. I do that shit all the time. When I don't feel like dealing with a customer, I'll be like, hey, my general manager said I can't do that shit. Really, it's me saying it, but I just use my general manager just because I don't feel like taking the heat for the shit. So I'm probably hid behind that. But the reality is,
he's really in a lose-lose situation.
I'm saying he gave him money, though.
That's kind of what it looks like. It really looks like publicly, it looks like, hey, the way you moving is really messing up a lot of these behind-the-scene things that are going on. But when you need help, he's there for you. Mm-hmm. He's not letting you, you know what I'm saying, feel like you ever going to be on the street, not like that. He's giving you money. And let me tell you something about being niggas. If you give somebody money,
you rock with them.
You pretty much have the expectation that you're probably not going to get it back.
Bro.
When he gave you that money, and I'm not saying he ain't press you for it. I'm not saying he ain't ask you for it.
But he didn't.
That there's a chance that you could burn him on his bread. He was able to give it to you.
But she said, but she get
that back with interest. That's, you know what I'm saying? I rock with that. But I'm just letting you know that where that comes from as somebody who gives money to someone. You know what I'm saying? It's we know that there's now, depending on how much you know what I'm saying, how much I rock with you, I might have this percentage chance of am I really going to get this back? Or, all right, I'm sure that I am. But there's always a slither that I might not get it back.
Yeah.
If you down bad like this, I might not get it back anytime soon.
But she said that he said, hey, here you go. Don't worry about it. And she said, now when we get it together, we're going to take care of you. And then they paid it back with interest. But my point being here is to me, this is the reason why it'd be so hard to do shit for people, because like here I am looking out for you. So I ain't come through on one thing, and I get it. You probably do feel slighted by it, but like you throwing dirt, throw dirt on my name, like I ain't look out for you.
Dirt on my name. Yeah. I got you.
I'm saying game. Like what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? And like to me, this is a lot more telling about her character than it is about Kevin Hart's here. Because again, like I said, I ain't seen nothing but really a lot of positivity from Kevin Hart. And then you ain't do nothing but confirm that the man be looking out for people. You know what I'm saying? Like he seen you as one of his elders. You know what I'm saying? He was all like, yo, you on hard times, I got you. And now like you throwing dirt on the man's name is just like, I find now this is more telling about you than him in this instance, because it's like, yo, you just said the man gave you money. Like, what's the issue here?
We know what this is. This is when somebody they feel that they have like some type of entitlement to you helping them or doing something for them to come up. Like giving you more than what they should or whatever the case may be. Kevin Hart he doesn't have to do nothing for you if you don't want to.
Bro,
you know what I'm saying? And
nobody
does. Like, she was trying to throw dirt on his name without completely igniting the bridge. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. She was trying to keep the bridge somehow intact by saying, like, no, I was just speaking my truth. Like, the reality is like, yo, you had no reason to say anything like that on the show. You had no reason to say anything like that on the show.
Bro, and she could have kept it at
Kevin Hart is already getting stones thrown at him after the Kevin Hart interview. If this man really rocked with you back then, you would have even more of because of where you at, like, hey, I'm going to come to his defense, to his aid more than anything. And this is not me defending Kevin Hart. This is
not at all.
Principle. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was able to give you that when you really needed it, to where when you got back on your feet, he was able to give it back with interest. But then you decide to come back after he's getting, you know what I'm saying, he's already been cut by Cat Williams. You're going to throw salt on the wound by just throwing some extra shit that we didn't need to know about. But also telling us, hey, she wants to save face by saying, all right, but he did throw me some bread. Just in case he can't.
I think it's disrespectful because she was trying to play into the gatekeeper thing. And it's like, if you've ever been in that situation before, you
was here before him. You was here before him.
And I'm saying, right, but you talking about, you can clearly tell it's a situation where you committed to something that you didn't entirely think through. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then comes the moment for you to realize on the end, for you to act on that, put rubber to road. And the issue is you could handle it in a very, straight up way. But, if you care about a person, sometimes it can be hard to give them that, the truth, right? Like sometimes it's hard to say, I really ain't trying to attach my name to anything you doing. You know what I'm saying? At the time, Kevin Hart probably did mean that. It had a contract been there sitting in his lap on that pod. He probably would have signed that shit and not even thought twice about it. But then, his manager probably heard the interview or heard what he said. And then, he was all like, nah, man, like this would kill your reputation or whatever. Who knows what, I'm saying, Kevin Hart was advised to do. But I'm saying, I know for a fact that I'd have been in situations before where I done committed to something. I'll still follow through. But when that time came, I really ain't feel like doing that shit. You know what I'm saying?
She was just trying to piggyback off the hype from the Cat Williams interview. And that's all that was.
Maybe.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
Yeah. I mean, I think she was also still mad at Kevin. So she wanted to throw some dirt on his name, right? Like she's being petty. Because I don't know if she was
never done that without the Cat Williams interview. She would have never initiated that, that dirt unsolicited. She needed to do it behind bro. I just don't think
I don't know, man, because like once she
done it.
I feel like once Monique feels some type of way, because she was asked about Kevin Hart. You know what I'm saying?
But the timing was impeccable. And that's all I'm saying. Because this sounds like old news that she's just now bringing up.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? Nobody was saying anything about Kevin Hart, at least from in recent times, until Cat Williams did what he did.
Yeah. Okay. No, I got you. I can see that. So yeah, I just didn't like it. It seemed grimy, and I'm all like, yo, you just explained to me a situation where like you could have just simply said, hey, when I was at my lowest, Kevin had my back. We had a little falling out and we ain't really work things out, but Kevin good in my book. You know what I'm saying? But
in my book, Cat is good in my book. And,
yeah, bro, she could have just kept it pushing, man. Like I just didn't like that. The second thing that I want to address,
Similar to what Ice Cube did, by the way. Similar to what Ice Cube did. If you notice how he handled that situation.
Yeah.
He handled that situation very well.
Oh yeah, for sure. But
We've called it a day.
Yeah, but Ice Cube also wasn't operating from a perspective of feeling slighted by anybody either, though. You know, he was just basically speaking on facts. You know what I'm saying? So, but one of the things that I wanted to talk about, and this has to do with the thing that first sparked, I guess, issues with her and D.L. Hughley. And at the time when this occurred, her and D.L. was cool. So she tells a story about her and D.L., how she went on D.L. Hughley's show, his radio show. And D.L. wasn't there, but his other co-hosts were there. She said she had a good old time, you know what I'm saying? They had a blast. Cool. Yeah, they said had a cool little cool moment. At the end, they wanted to play a game. Would you rather? You know what I'm saying? And they asked her, Lee Daniels, that's the dude name. Yeah. That's the dude she was speaking on, with Oprah and them. So they asked her, would you rather your husband have sex with Rihanna with a condom or raw sex with Lee Daniels? Or I think it was vice versa. I think it was have sex with Lee Daniels with a condom on or raw sex with Rihanna. And, she was all like, nah. And she basically, shut that shit down immediately. Like, nah, I don't play like that. Like, what's going on? Like, get DL on the phone. She called DL. DL had already got wind of it. DL is basically saying like, well, that's how we roll. You know what I'm saying, Monique? You know what I'm saying? Like, basically, you can either get down or lay down. That's just how we do it. And eventually she got the show pulled. Either she got the show pulled or DL just out of, respect, just didn't air it or whatever. Who knows? But the point here is she just felt a way about it. And I guess my perspective here is how can I put it? There's two perspectives here that I see. One, I understand Monique's perspective, which as, saying everything ain't a joke. And so why y'all try to joke about everything and I don't joke like that. And that's cool and all, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like you can't slight anybody for, saying their type of humor though. So if I can make it that way. And although DL is like a kind of a weird comic, I ain't never really found him like really all that funny. Because he don't really tell a lot of jokes. He just kind of loves like crack on people in the crowd. But that's you on his show. You know what I'm saying? So he asked you a question. You could have politely just asked to have that shit cut out from it. You know what I'm saying? Or, they could have changed the joke or whatever. But to me, for you to have an entire falling out behind somebody making a joke, you know what I'm saying? It sounds a little sensitive to me, especially being like you a comic. You get what I'm saying?
And you made a lot of offensive jokes about a lot of people about your career.
I'm saying
like they're after post career. Let me not say like they're up, but post career.
It's crazy to me because like I feel like as a comic, you know what I'm saying, you may not have wanted to play that joke, but like you would understand like, hey, look, I know y'all like to have fun and all, but for real, I ain't really trying to answer that. But like she made it seem like she like completely flipped out. I was like, hell no, man, I'm not answering that. Like, what kind of shit is going on? And it's like you a comic, like you supposed to understand like certain aspects of comedy, you know what I'm saying? And like I get it, like maybe you felt personally attacked, but they were just asking a question because he made it seem like she thought they were trying to question her man's sexuality. I mean, I don't know all that. That seemed like a reach, but I mean, because I ain't never heard anybody really questioning.
Insulting to her.
Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Because I know that her and her husband, at one point in time, they were, what was it? There was like a rumor going around about them having like an open marriage. I don't know if she ever really like truly addressed it or not, but that's like the only thing I can think of like when it came to them. Now I don't keep up on it. And at this time I wasn't like, as a content creator, I keep up with a lot of shit now, but at the time I wasn't keeping up with this type of shit. So I don't really know the extent of like what her frustrations were, but I do know that like there was definitely rumors about them having like an open marriage and like she being okay with that and all types of shit. But I feel like as a comic, like, just because you don't joke that way, but you should still be understanding from a comedic perspective because like all comedians have different avenues and different ways in which they try to facilitate their humor. And like you just completely shutting it down just kind of seemed like like, it seemed odd to me because I'm just saying, you got upset real quick.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I'm saying. Like, you got pissed super quick and you a comedian.
Yeah.
No. That's all I'm saying. But
I wish
again,
we could see the content, because I think a lot of that would really put some things in perspective.
who knows, man? Maybe DL got that shit sitting on a hard drive somewhere. Maybe he might. Okay, you want to say it went like this, but I was gonna say they didn't disagree on the incident. You know what I'm saying? The only thing they disagreed was DL saying that, like, her saying she had a lawyer call and had that shit shut down, and DL saying, like, DL basically said, no, I just didn't air it just because out of respect, like, not because you had your lawyer call me. So, but they've been trying to see who dick swing the lowest for like years now, so that shit will probably go on forever. One last things I want to get into. Let's talk about Uncle Sharpe and his entire platform and kind of what he's been going through, because it feels like Uncle's been on the chopping block here lately, and it's something I wanted to bring up because I wanted to ask you this. Okay. Now, we talked before when we first talked about the Cat Williams episode, and we talked about how, Uncle just wants to have a conversation. That's what he said, right? Like, he don't really come on there to press people and different things like that. But what I will say is this. What I will ask is this. Do you not think that he has at least some responsibility if he's sort of kind of hearing shit that ain't really adding up, or things that sound a little too outrageous, to kind of push back a little bit? Because I do feel like, as a person in the media, when you're interviewing somebody, you have a small obligation to at least question some shit. Like, you just can't.
To answer the question that the people want.
But not ask the question that people want, to sort of like he can't just simply allow people to come onto his platform and just say anything. You get what I'm saying? Like, to a certain extent,
I'm gonna be honest.
People like a little tension. People like a little pushback, but not even that. But to me, it's responsible to do that.
See, he doesn't want that responsibility, and he's already said that. And that's why I'm not gonna press the dude about it. Would I do it? Yes. I would press for a little bit more truth. I'm not saying that I'm gonna press you on camera to, like, talk about a subject that may be, you know what I'm saying, damning or whatever. Yeah, no. That maybe you just don't press. But but may I like counter maybe once or twice? Possibly. But more than likely. But what I will say, come out and say that he wants his platform not to be something that he even feels like it's an interview. He wants you to come onto the platform and just talk, and it be a conversation. Yeah. And if it goes there, it goes there. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If you want to talk about that, knowing, you know what I'm saying, what's out there, then cool. If you don't want to talk about that, not knowing, you know what I'm saying, because you feel like that it could be damning towards you, or just not a subject that you want to broach, then no problem. But and if that's what his platform is about, I can't get mad that somebody's going to come out there and do that and not go the tough route. I'm okay with that. I'm not saying he needs to go the tough route, but let's go back to what we talked about. If Diddy ever came out, let's say, and told his side of things, he should own something like Shannon Sharpe. That's a whole different situation. So I'm saying, right, because maybe I'm thinking of this differently. So yeah, in just average conversation, we just bring somebody on just to shoot the shit. Okay, cool. But let's say we get to a point here where now his platform has become a place for people to come on and tell their truth. He himself should feel some responsibility not to allow them just to come on and drive their own narrative. You got to ask questions. Now, I don't say he has to push back hard in order to get a reaction, but he just can't. He couldn't let Diddy come on and just say whatever. No, he would have to question him about certain allegations and certain things in relation to those allegations. Otherwise, then we're not getting the truth. We're just getting somebody saying whatever it is they want to say. And to me, that's irresponsible as a person in the media. I think context matters. And with P. Diddy's situation is very similar to the R. Kelly situation. Those allegations are they're not damn near, they are criminal to like the core, right? Mm-hmm. Things that like are like just are just that disgusting across the board.
Yeah.
This situation with Monique and DL Hughley, now I don't know the genesis of it, so maybe I'm missing a lot of it, but I don't believe this is more like just drama, mess.
Yeah.
It's not, you know what I'm saying? So if you don't want to talk about that, then no problem. But if we're talking about there's an allegation of you know what I'm saying, graping somebody, or, you know what I'm saying, going to the extent of assaulting someone in a sexual manner, yeah, bro, those are things that you're probably going to have to broach on any kind of conversation / interview that you on any platform. But if this is the Chris Brown and Rihanna situation, if you notice, Chris Brown had to talk about it. Even if it wasn't in an interview, even till today, he still has to talk about it. He just talked about how the NBA he was supposed to be in the game, and then out of nowhere, they said that, hey, because of what is going on, we can't have you in the game, but we'll let you sit courtside.
That's wild.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's insulting. But even till today, he still has to have that conversation. Yeah. So what I'm saying with that was somewhat criminal in nature. This is just more so like, did Drake and P. Diddy get into a fight at the club or whatever? I don't like. We don't need to. If you don't want to talk about that, you don't have to. Beyonce and does not need to discuss what happened with Jay-Z and her sister. Nor does Jay-Z sit there and have a conversation on any kind of interview or whatever. If he does an interview with Shannon Sharpe, are we going to expect him to discuss what happened on the elevator? Even if he is asking a question, bro, you don't need to answer that. Yeah. It ain't that big of a deal. Now, if there's a situation where you grape someone, we need to hear that. That is something that we need to discuss. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not here to say now, but I will say that Shannon Sharpe's platform, it is what it is. We know what it is. We know that it's a platform that if you want to dive deep into conversations that may be controversial, he's not going to do it. So we just got to treat it as one of those, it's going to be a softball kind of conversation. And that's it.
Yeah. I mean, I just want to make sure that we ain't giving him this ultimate pass of saying like, hey, like, I get where you're trying to, and again, it's his, you know what I'm saying? That's cool. But again, I feel like even us as people part of the community and the viewership of him, that we don't allow it to get to a point to where anyone can come on there and just say anything. Like, it just can't become that because he just wants to have a conversation, because that's where shit becomes dangerous. You get what I'm saying? And so I'm just like, all right, so far, like, it's been cool. And I get it. Little people kind of upset here and there. That shit'll blow over. But as somebody interviewing people and hearing different sides of the story, it's important that, like, you make sure that, like, people ain't just saying whatever and just spewing hyperbole, and, you know, you're not at least questioning some things. You ain't got to question everything. You ain't got to make them feel uncomfortable. That ain't what you're trying to do. But you also just can't let people say any old thing that they want to say. And I know that's a fine line to toe. So, like, when do you drop in and out of that mode?
I think he's learning. I think he's learning as he goes. I think you know, he's new to this.
Well, he like 60 interviews in now, though. He ain't that new.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, well, he's new to, like, getting the criticism that he's getting
the
right
views
now.
And the fame,
So I think that now that this criticism is coming, I think that more, like, when he gets some of those big time interviews, he's probably going to have to press one or two more times, because if he wants to continue to have, like, some type of skin in the game where people trust and value the platform, like, hey, you're gonna have to ask some tough questions now.
Yeah, because I'm saying, man, I guess because my thing is, I think back to the thing, like the Cat Williams interview, right? Like, when he talked about being invited to, like, an Illuminati meeting, like, he should have asked him, well, who invited you?
He should have pressed. He should have pressed. What do you mean, ludicrous Illuminati?
No, hold on. Like, and then he can do it.
Even on Drink Champs. If you go on Drink Champs, they're not gonna let you just skirt that.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Hold on, wait. Run
take a shot. Take a shot. Take a shot.
Run that back.
Real quick. And they'll let you even think about what you're gonna say.
Who invited you?
Talk about that one. Take a shot, and they'll come back and say, speak on that.
I'm saying, bro, like, there's times where I'm saying, like, Unc should have asked some more questions, dog. I get it, but
I agree,
like
but
he definitely should have been like, hey, who invited you? You know what I'm saying? Like that's it. That's all I'm saying. Okay. All right. Last thing I want to ask before I get up out of here, man. So I'm gonna interview you here for a second, man, because I feel like, you know what I'm saying, you're one of the few people I know that's still single. My question is, and you can take a second to think about this if you need to, but do you actually, where are you at as far as seeing yourself getting married? Do you believe that is going to happen sometime in your lifetime, or do you not, or is there, or you leaning more toward the possibility that you probably won't get married?
That's actually a good question, man. I think I want to get married, no doubt.
Okay. So the thought and the proposition of it being a reality, you desire that, but
to be honest, like I have a very like good idea and hope that I will get married.
Yeah.
But I also have this like fear, and man, this is very weird because I feel like I'm kind of like getting into territory of like I'm getting too personal on a podcast, and I don't want to like that is not. I mean,
like you don't gotta go into specifics.
I know that we get on here and we talk about things, but it's just like now I'm really starting to like, you know what I'm saying, start peeling back the onion. Personally, like what I think about. I have a fear about marriage.
Okay.
I have a fear that like I get married, maybe it won't work out, or I get married and what I thought that I was buying isn't it. I don't know. Like when these statistics and a lot of the things that you hear and see, and it's not to say that I need to be pessimistic, but like it's like I feel like there's a lot more things I need to watch out for than things I need to be like looking out for or happy about. And that's what kind of scares me. More than 55% of marriages end. Over 75% of marriages that do end are because of financial reasons. And then you have to realize that when you get married, you're locking yourself in with somebody. So no matter how good you are, you might be with finances, don't mean that they're going to be good with finances.
Yeah.
And there's just so many dynamics. Like what happens if one day you just kind of like, don't want this no more? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And I just, that's what kind of scares me. But my biggest fear is to die alone. And that's why I said that I have a great desire to be married, because I don't want to live, like, what am I doing this for if I'm not going to be doing it eventually with somebody and have my own family to like share it with, like that to me just seems very depressing. But yeah.
The reason why I ask is because I see a lot of men, especially online, who talk about relationships and stuff like that. And again, I'm like, I've been married since, I was like mid-20s, like early 20s actually. So, I've kind of, always, and even then in my early 20s, I was in a full committed relationship. So I haven't dated in a long time. I don't know what the dating pool is like out here. I don't know what the real world is anymore. Like all of this just seems very superficial to me. But the reason I ask is because, seeing so many men talk online, I never really hear men talk about, like wanting to find a wife, you know what I'm saying? So I hear a lot of men talk about dating, you know what I'm saying? I hear a lot of, but it's interesting that you would bring up a fear, because I think that's kind of what holds a lot of people back, right? Like you don't never know if you're gonna make the right decision. So I guess my next question would be like, what is it? What can a woman give you as far as reassurance to know that it would work out? Because I personally, I don't know if you can ever really get that though. And is that the fear?
And I think that's a great question, because I don't think that there's anything that you could do that's going to give you that reassurance. I think that's what the relationship is, why it's built on trust so much.
Yeah,
because you trust that she's going to stay engaged, and the same way she has to trust that you will stay engaged. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Bro, trust is a big factor when it comes to relationship.
Yeah,
it just is. I will say this though. I think that right now we're at a especially when it comes to the internet. And I don't know if like YouTube and the internet is a great depiction of like, you know what I'm saying, the general sense.
Yeah, I mean, I
But
could just take shit.
that's all we know. That's all we know because that's all we're consuming.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say is that I think that on these platforms, it seems as if we're fighting with each other a lot more than it is that we're trying to figure each other out or work with one another. It's like men be on this whole like extreme red pill, fresh and fit bullshit, and these women be on these extreme feminist. I don't like, you know, a nigga need to come with this and that, and it's just like, yo, all of y'all need to both sides need to shut the fuck up.
Need to get this shit together.
Because the reality is that like, men, bro, we need to. I'm gonna speak on us first. We need to come from a place of like, at a bare minimum, showing her that like, hey, you can trust that I got us in a bad situation, whatever that means.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you need to make a certain amount or whatever, but you need to be disciplined enough that she can feel that like, all right, you got us in a tough situation. If she loses her job, even if you lose your job, will you be able to make us at a bare minimum survive? Like, keep the lights on.
Yeah.
With this whole economy and all this scary shit that the world may be, like, can you at least do that? At a bare minimum, can you do that? And a lot of these dudes, respectfully, it's like they're presenting and they want to show that they doing that, but behind the scenes they ain't got shit to their name. More than 66% of Americans can't come up with $1,000 post debt.
Yeah.
Do that math.
Yeah.
Do that math. More than 66% of Americans cannot give you $1,000 post debt. We're talking about credit card debt.
Yeah.
We're not talking about houses and student loans or whatever. No, right now, gun to your head, pay off your credit cards, give me $1,000. 66% of people can't do that.
Yeah.
But everybody doing Uber Eats and eating out, you know what I'm saying, with over 33% of their budget, it's the crazy math. But I say that to say, and I know I'm bringing in all that shit into your question.
Yeah, let's bring it back in.
But I say that to say that, like, you know what I'm saying. With that being said, we need to come together at a certain point to realize like we need each other. Like, ladies, you know what I'm saying? Clock is ticking. We cannot be spending years fighting about niggas and this and niggas ain't that. And like a couple of weeks ago, I had a great conversation. Not a great, but the conversation, you know what I'm saying?
Said not great.
We hadn't talked to each other in months. And, you know what I'm saying, I had posed a question, I'm saying, how's the dating scene? How's the love life going? Some, you know, paraphrasing.
Yeah.
And the first thing she was rambling about for about 30, 45 seconds is how niggas ain't shit. And went on a list gave a list about in what ways that we not shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm seeing this, and I don't think she watches this pod, so I don't think it's a big deal.
Yeah.
But she made a comment, and I said, man, what was the last date that you went on? She said, blah. And with this dude. And I said, okay, so why aren't you, what didn't work out between you and said dude? She said that he snapped his fingers at the waitress to get her attention. And when she made and that was, and then I made the comment, bro. I made the comment that like, yeah, that's not a good look, but that shouldn't be a deal breaker.
Oh, no. Okay. All right.
That's all I said. It was like, she felt like I am this, do you know what? And I'm quoting her. She said that she's so glad we had a conversation because I'm exactly what she needed as far as birth control to not start or something like that. And in my mind, I'm like, that is wild.
Yo.
That is wild.
Yo.
Because the reality is, I don't know this dude. I never met him. Met him, and I'm not saying that that's not a triggering situation for you or whatever the case may be, but what I will say is just this. Like, in certain cultures, things, you're allowed to do things where in certain cultures you cannot. If I go to Nigeria and I go like this and to try to get my, you know what I'm saying, waitress's attention, I can do that. Okay. No big deal. You come to America and you do that, it's like, bro, this nigga got no sense and no respect for women. Which I understand because
or in general, if you ask me.
Or in general.
I got you.
Cool. Okay. But it's just it's like, yo, we can't, like, deal breaker. What if that's a good person? But just didn't know. I don't know. But hey.
No, I got you. I got you. No, because I was about to say, And nigga, like if I saw one of my friends doing that shit, I would check that nigga. Like, but what the fuck is you doing, dog?
Of course, I'm not saying,
Like,
but
I got you.
Does that mean that going forward, he can no longer be your friend?
Nah, see, friend, of course. But like, if I was out with a chick, bro, and I seen her snap her finger at somebody, bro, I'm never taking her back. Never, dog. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm right off. And I get it. That might be terrible. But I'm saying that's one of them things. That's one of them things that's like an absolute deal breaker, bro. I do not tolerate rude people. Okay.
I don't tolerate disrespect either.
Yeah, I don't tolerate disrespect and rude people, bro. Not in any capacity. Not from family, friends, none of that shit. So that's like, you could have said anything else, and I might have been like, okay, yeah, I can see that, not me. But like snapping your finger at somebody, yeah. Now you brought up the different culture thing, understood. And if that was the situation, maybe, and maybe that could be, and that could be a sort of a linchpin to how, we tend to not think about how everyone ain't American. You know what I'm saying? Just like every culture has like a different set of like personal space, so you have that aspect of it. But I'm glad to hear you say that, man, because
it just seems like things are getting harder relationships are harder to come by at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's harder because I will say from my perspective as a married man is I can't speak for older generations, but listening to older generations, most of the times they weren't really all that happy in their marriages. A lot of them just kind of stayed together and are kind of still together because they're kind of those that are who are struggling in their marriage, they're held together by, the vow. And that's important, right? Don't get me wrong. The vow is important, and the covenant you make under God is important to them. And our generation, that isn't necessarily as important to us anymore, though the vow, I believe, is still important. But also, I know a lot of married people that, at least on the outside looking in, seem much more happier. It seems like people are now starting to find their person rather than sort of kind of settle in or just rushing. You still have some people who I feel like, might just kind of be rushing in to get married just to do it. I don't personally know the people, but I mean, you hear it on social media or whatever. I don't really know how true that is, but everyone that I know that's married just seem like they found their person. You know what I'm saying? And it boggles my mind because I'm like, bro, do y'all not have any friends that are married? Like, do y'all not hear how like marriage is? How is, is that what's turning you off? I'm always interested to hear the perspective, because if you told me, yeah, bro, I got 5 homeboys and I all hate that shit. Oh, okay. Well, all right. Well, that would be a good reason as to why you might think.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I have a couple of people that I know, 1 or 2 marriages that I know, and it is like, wow, horrible.
It might be some. It might be some out there.
But I will also tell you that, at least from the outside looking in, some of these marriages that I know from like my peers, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's very important. I think it's very important that people need to find somebody they are compatible with. Yeah. Like, don't be in a rush. Find somebody you're compatible with, because this is once you have a child with somebody,
that's it. Yeah, that person is here.
You guys have to be on some type of like plan together where you guys can walk down this path and trust one another. Yeah. Because you don't want to like start having to raise a child in a split family. Like, at least I don't want to be that person.
Yeah, I don't want to have to do that. No, I fully appreciate you saying that, because I agree. I think that, just to kind of close out on this, I think that one, you touched on how like marriages in 50% end in divorce because of finances. I do think that like when you get married young, especially real young, and I'd be interested to see the statistics of divorces at ages. You get what I'm saying? Because like when you're young, you're definitely not having a conversation about finances. It's probably not even a topic of discussion at all in any capacity, other than like how y'all gonna split bills. But I will say that knowing what I know now, the single greatest like, I guess, advice I could give you is that, yeah, y'all need to be on the same page before you even think about, saying walk an altar. You can get engaged without having that conversation. But once you get engaged, y'all need to have the conversation of finances. Who gonna be the disciplined parent? Who not gonna be a disciplined parent? Like, who gonna do what? This, that, and that, so forth.
Like, practice budgeting with each other for a couple of months and see if you can at least do that. Like,
Yeah.
can y'all set like a goal budget-wise as a team, as a unit, when you're engaged and like accomplish one or two milestones. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit is important because that's just the beginning of what life is going to look like. That's just the reality. What life is going to look like going forward. How much can you guys set a plan for each other, and who's going to deviate? And can you trust this person not to deviate? If they can't even go through if you guys can't work with each other on a plan for 3 to 6 months, y'all shouldn't be getting married.
But also,
love ain't enough, bro. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Love ain't enough. Love ain't enough. It's not.
I think we gotta have this conversation because love is enough if love is at the core of why you do what you do. Because
that should sound good. That should sound good.
No. Understand what I'm saying. If you love the person enough, then you're willing to make it work and do what's necessary. So which means like if y'all set a plan and the person expresses to you deeply, hey, I really want us to start saving money, and you're not saving money, there's either two things you need to do. You need to go to therapy to figure out why you keep spending money, or you know what I'm saying? You need to stop spending money. It means that, like, to me, love is enough if you're doing the work. Love is not enough if you're not doing the work. That's where the conversation comes in. But with that being said, I mean, I can't tell people what's enough for them. But if love ain't enough, then nothing ever will be. Because like at the end of the day, all you have is the love for each other. I'm being dead ass. Nigga, you get hit by a car tomorrow and be in the hospital. Like what is there to take care of you? Love, nigga. Like ain't no $1 billion empire anymore. Like it's taking care of you. You get what I'm saying? Like.
And I think that's why I'm saying it's not enough, man. In this line of work, I'm telling you now that a lot of people will not rock with somebody when things get tough. They just won't do it. And that's why I say for a lot of these, I'm not gonna speak on yours because I think, look, amazing woman. I don't think I've met her, but Trish, amazing woman from what you've told me. But I just think in most of these marriages, man, love is not enough, bro. A lot of people are like, especially now with this convenience of like, oh, I can just split, and it's getting so common now. People just don't care. They out of here.
Okay. All right. Well, I can't comment on that. I don't know. So
the numbers
and again, I don't have my streets to the ear like that on shit like that.
The numbers don't lie. But
yeah. All right, man. So before we gonna go ahead and get up out of here before this thing cuts out on DK again. So with that being said, man, if you made it this far, we appreciate you for kicking us with it this week. Sorry we didn't get the episode out today, which y'all be hearing it tomorrow. So sorry we got it out a day late, but sometimes life comes up. Right now is my inventory time, and I'm crazy busy. I'm at work at 5 a.m. Don't leave for another hour. So right now it's long days till I get this thing knocked out. But thank y'all for tuning in every week, man. Please do me a favor, go ahead and like,
comment,
and subscribe, you know what I'm saying? Also tell your mama, brother, sister, cousin, mother, uncle, anybody that want to get married, anybody who just needs to hear some advice, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and shoot in this, With that being said, as always, it's been real. Till next time.